I wanted to talk about some of the differences between living in China versus living in America, working as a software engineer. So currently right now I'm in Sanya, China. It's a little island in the southernmost part of China. I suppose you would say maybe it's a Florida or Hawaii equivalent, but just around here. Here, I'll show you my pad real quick. So here's where I usually try to work out of in the morning and at night. I don't try to work out of here per se in the afternoon because sometimes it's so bright out here you can't really see your screen. But here we got the ocean. There's a little lady out there. She sells coconuts on her little mini cart pickup truck thing. I usually try to take a dip out in the ocean once a day. A lot of places around here are these residential areas, hotels. These buildings here are very similar to this one, but this one's just a little bit more modern and updated. And the first thing I guess I'll say that I noticed about China and living here is that, well, it's very affordable, extremely affordable. And so right now, one US dollar is equal to about 7.5 Chinese yuan. And so let's say like you got 10 US dollars, about 75 bucks here. What can 75 bucks in Chinese yuan buy you? Well, I mean, you could probably get maybe 3 meals in a restaurant for that, right? Now try to get, 3 meals in a restaurant for 10 bucks in the US. I mean, you can barely buy like 2 Big Macs, right? So one thing about these apps that they have over here, and I know it's kind of a hot topic that's been discussed kind of in American politics right now, is this idea of CBDCs and central bank digital currencies, and are these a good thing or a bad thing, or are the elites just going to download and take all your money if you put your money into these things or whatever? But in my experience of living here, a lot of these people have these apps where they're fully integrated social experiences. You can find deals on there, live stream. It's kind of like the TikTok in China is very different than the TikTok in America, as you probably know. But seeing these things firsthand, it's actually pretty wild how integrated everything is in the society. And so, like I said, people can pay for things on these apps. You can have your social media on there. You can chat with people. It's kind of like if you imagine all the top 5 apps that we use in America, but just combined into one, that's what these kind of things are. So you can order food from there, deliver from restaurants, buy a hotel, book a plane ticket. I mean, anything, customer support, it's all just in one app. So that was one of the first things that I realized about China definitely is that it's convenient, it's affordable, and it's really in a lot of ways, I mean, this is my hot take, it's kind of what America should be in the future. Now, I mean that's a really hot take, right? Because well, America is the American dream, but I mean really ask any young person right now how they feel about the American dream. You know what I'm saying? I mean, your mom and dad, your boomer parents, they probably bought their house for like 10 strawberries, right? That's kind of the joke going around, how the economy back then is way different than it is now. But just look around on YouTube, man. And there's a lot of doomer content, a lot of people talking that, the world's coming to an end and it's all gonna break down in this next generation because no one can afford anything. And there's parts of that that are true, but also I think we can fix it in America. And we definitely look like we're on that track now. But one thing that I've definitely noticed with China is that it's already kind of put together and really developing these days. Now, another difference that I recognized immediately from getting here is that when I open my phone up in the airport to talk to my friends or maybe send an email, I noticed that I'll try to open my Gmail app. Oh, all of a sudden, Google just doesn't work. Okay, I'll just kill some time, maybe watch a video, open up YouTube. Oh, YouTube doesn't work. Okay, I gotta kind of log into my account so that I can, check things and maybe start doing some work. Oh, I don't even have access to the internet, and I'm working on a local dev server and connecting to an API that exists on one of our endpoints that are from a server that's hosted in the US. Oh, that doesn't work. And it's kind of one of these funny things where I know you're supposed to be prepared for this. And obviously, I knew that there was an internet difference between America and China. China has this great firewall, but that was the first thing that I really started to interact with pretty heavily when I first got here. It's like, wow, the internet in China is really restrictive, and you have to find a way to bypass that. Now, I won't explain how to do that or how I may have theoretically gotten around that. But, that's something you have to figure out here, and there's definitely a trade-off there that you're going to need help with. Now, I guess another thing that I'll say about China is the culture here is very interesting. Now, I'm actually been pretty immersed within Chinese culture for like about 4 or 5 years now since I've been with my partner. Uh, I understand the quirks about it. I don't know any Chinese, obviously, but I do understand how it technically works and how it's different to America. But also, I mean, everywhere you go, it's all pretty much the same, right? The only thing that you do is really just like swap out the different kinds of people and the food and the language, and most places are going to be pretty much the same. And that's what I realized about China as well, is how it's really kind of very similar to America in that, I mean, we all have cars, we all have shelters, we all drink water and eat food, speak a language. I mean, what's the difference and why do we have to have all these kind of crazy wars over all these differences between us as a people? I mean, it doesn't really even make any sense. Another cool thing is about this touristic area that I showed you there is you'll find a lot of Russians and Ukrainians there chilling on the beach together. And that's something you wouldn't expect, but I suppose in Russia and in Ukraine or any of these other European countries, the closest area that they have to a beach probably is this location. So that's also been interesting to notice. And I guess I'll end it like this. You know, America is still an amazing place to live and still a place that I consider home. But, you know, if you're a young person right now and you're maybe struggling to figure out what you want to do with your life, I mean, the first thing that I would say is that you have to travel. You have to learn how to travel and find ways on your own and become resourceful and figure out what you want in life. And for me, I never thought that I would go to another country. I mean, growing up my whole life, I went to like two different states up until I was like 22 years old. And I never really got access to really any other cultures than just from middle of America. And so the number one thing that I would say as a young person, if you're aspiring to grow and develop more, is that you have to travel, whether it is another country or just throughout your state or go into different states around you. I think it's important just to travel and experience the world, experience more cultures so that you get a better view of what is possible for you in life. And that's what I've really noticed about China and living here for a few months is that I now have a bigger view of what's possible for me in life. I've even thought that I'd be okay living here at least, you know, partially throughout the year, every year, maybe even full time. I would say, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, rating China, I'd say it's like a 8.5 or 9 out of 10. It's a bit convenient if you're just from America, you don't know anyone here or have someone to travel with. If you come here, you're not gonna, I mean, it's gonna be very hard to figure out. But one thing I've also noticed that the people are very helpful. They are very welcome to foreigners here if you just talk to them or try to communicate. They'll open up a translating app and they'll try to figure it out with you. That's definitely for sure. So China, 8.5, 9 out of 10. Other countries that I may visit, we'll see, but I would definitely love to visit back here and maybe even live here part-time throughout the year and kind of make it as a part of my rotation. Tomorrow I'm going to Chongqing. That's very much become the heavily marketed and high PR city of the world right now. On social media, you'll see a lot of videos about Chongqing. It's very much the cyberpunk, futuristic city. So it'll be interesting to check that out. And I'll probably be posting a lot more videos from there as well. So see you guys on the next episode.